Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Spanish United Radio. I'm your host, Enrique Sanchez. This morning, we have a special guest. Would you be kind enough to introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Sure. Good morning. My name is Janet Braun, and I currently serve as the mayor of the city of South Pasadena.
Welcome, Janet. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for the nice invitation.
It's my pleasure. I frequently go to South Pasadena. I love the city. I think it's a very homey, quiet, lovely town. Can you give a little bit of a background of the city of Pasadena for the audience and how long you've been mayor for?
Sure. So the city of South Pasadena, we love our city. It's only about, depends on who you talk to, but 6 or 8 miles from the city of Los Angeles. And it's about a 3.4 square mile city. So it's a small city, but we also have a metro stop for the A line. So
Hmm.
we have lots of great visitors as well. We're a city of about 26,000 residents with about 10,000 housing units. One thing people don't really know about our city is that half of those units, those housing units, are rentals. So
Oh,
we have so we have actually a very diverse population, both racially, ethnically, and frankly, socioeconomically. We have a great school district, South Pasadena Unified School District, which a lot of people come to our city seeking good schools for their kids. Um, and we have a lot of great things happening in South Pasadena. So I've been here for 27 years and I've been the mayor for just a year. I've been on city council. I'm coming up to my third anniversary of being on the city council. Mayor is an office we rotate among the five council members.
hmm. Wow, impressive. I didn't know that because when I passed through South Pasadena kind of looks like a upper middle class city, similar to like San Marino. I compare it to being almost the same, except that it's a little bit smaller.
You know, a lot of people do, and it's we have just a really great diverse mix of housing types and people, and I think it's really great. If you ever planning or your kids playing the sports in town, you'll know that's one of the really great things. You get kids. It's a really leveling playing the field or leveling the playing field because you get parents on the sideline. We're all bringing oranges. We're all bringing snacks and drinks, but you got people from all different occupations and socioeconomic backgrounds, and it's really fun.
Impressive. One of the questions we want to know in Spanish United is public safety. So, can you give a little background on how is the public safety in the city of South Pasadena?
So I don't have a lot of statistics at my fingertips, but the city of South Pasadena, for being a small city, we are a full service city, which has a lot of different meanings to different people. But we have our own water system, sewer system, police department, and fire department. So
Hmm.
we do have a fire department, I think fully staffed, including sworn and non-sworn, is about 45 officers. And I think fire's at about 24 personnel. So we're small, but we're mighty. The fire department, there's a really great joint Verdugo Cities group that shares dispatch and shares a lot of resources. So from the fire standpoint, and I think throughout California, the shared services are super helpful. And really, it works so well. On the police side, we have our own police department, and we have a great police department. Our current police chief has been with the city of South Pasadena for about 30, I want to say 31 years, and he's
Wow.
retiring soon. And we are in the process of searching for a new police chief.
Wow, 30 plus years, that's a long time for being police chief.
Well, he wasn't the chief the whole time, but he served the city for 31 years.
Oh,
And
okay, okay.
yeah, yeah. But no, we also have, I just went to a retirement party for some of the firefighters. Three of them, it was several months ago, but they had 30 plus years of service to the city of South Pasadena, each one of them.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we have a lot of really great public safety officers in South Pasadena.
That's awesome. And what about in terms of infrastructure? How has the city of South Pasadena like improved in its infrastructure? Because I know that the city of South Pasadena for being small from my observation has a pretty good infrastructure for being a small city. So explain a little bit on how the city has improved in its infrastructure.
So we just hired a new city manager in early this year. So he came on board on March 31st. He has 29 years of experience. And we hired somebody with a lot of experience and for a lot of reasons, but he's doing a great job with our city and kind of building out a really great team to tackle some of the, I would say, aging infrastructure. We do have a lot of great infrastructure, but we have, some aging sewer lines and some aging water lines. We've done a lot of work on the water infrastructure. And as I said, we do have our own wells that are actually located in nearby cities that the water gets pumped to South Pasadena. Um,
Mm.
yeah. The other thing is that, we have our biggest infrastructure problem right now, I think if you asked any of the council members, is the condition of our streets and then our sidewalks as well. Being a 135-year-old city, we have we have trees. We're also a city of trees, so we have a lot of
Hmm.
big trees that are kind of eating up our streets and sidewalks. And so we do need some much needed street repairs, which we are working on. We're getting some capital improvement projects done on the streets and sidewalks, and we are looking at raising some tax dollars next fall, putting something on the ballot to raise a big tranche of funds to really make some significant progress on street repairs.
And what about resources? Like, for example, Spanish United, we are a civil rights organization, a nonprofit for Hispanic people. And one of the things that we do is that we try to provide services and resources for the people. So, as far as the city is concerned, like for those that are lower income, like how does the city provide resources for those that don't have much resources to resolve their basic needs?
So that's a good question. So in South Pasadena, one of the really great things, and I often am working with a marketing person, and we were chatting one day, and we said, "What is it that makes South Pasadena so great?" And we came up with, or she came up with, it's the people. It's the people in South Pasadena. So I would say we have a lot of groups, nonprofit groups, churches, and others that provide resources for those less fortunate economically. Um, Holy Family Church is located in South Pasadena. It's a very large parish. They have the food bank. St. James Episcopal Church also has a food bank. Um, and they also have outreach programs. We have Vecinos, which is a nonprofit organization that's, I think celebrates the Latina ancestry. And I think they have things. We have the city itself has a very active senior center. I think it's $25 a year to join the senior center. We have meals once monthly and lots of activity for seniors. We have a Dial-A-Ride program where seniors can get free rides. Um, the state has allocated some funding for housing assistance. We only got $58,000, but it's on our agenda for Wednesday, trying to figure out how to best use that as either rent relief or helping renters with legal and other resources if they have issues with their landlords. And we're part of a Tri-Cities group that has a homeless van that comes and tries to sort of approach those that need housing and provide them resources. And we're also part of a greater San Gabriel Valley Council of Governments, and they have a lot of resources for homeless as well. And that's an issue that I think still needs to be tackled by pretty much every city in the area.
That's impressive because I know that many cities they tend not to, really resolve the issue of the homeless, or many don't have the resources to allocate. But that's impressive that the city, in conjunction with different nonprofits, they're working together to help those that are less fortunate, especially with the high cost of living, the housing shortage. So that's impressive that the city is doing that. I think it's very important that every city, regardless of how big or how small, their duty is to look after those that are less fortunate, especially with those that don't have families or, like you said, don't have the resources. And you have mentioned that the city is diverse racially and ethnically. Like from on top of your head, how would you estimate the Hispanic population in the city?
Yeah, good question. I don't think we have a majority right now of any population. I do think, but it might, I mean, we may be slightly over 50% Caucasian, but possibly a little bit lower than 50%. I think we have I want to say in the 30 percentage, 33% Asian, and I want to say um, Latino or Hispanic, maybe 25%. Does that
Okay.
make sense? Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah,
Or
that makes
20,
sense.
20, like in the low 20s. We don't have a very large African American population.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what I've noticed. No, I was just curious because when I pass through the city, I don't see too many like Hispanic establishments. That was the only reason why I was asking.
Yeah, good question. I don't know why that is, but well, I want to tell you an exciting development. Via Tacos is coming to South Pasadena.
Oh, nice. Is that like a franchise?
Well, I think they're located in Highland Park. I've heard, I don't know if it's true, that they are a one-star Michelin taco place. So I don't know, but they're coming. So I think South Pasadena, we don't, well, you go back to housing. As you know, the state gives every city a arena number, a regional housing needs assessment every 8 years. And the last tranche, our regional housing needs assessment, because they did it based on how close you are to transit. And we have buses that come through South Pass and we have the metro. And so we're a city of 10,000 housing units, but the state has asked us to zone and plan for an additional 2,067. So
Nice.
we spent a lot of time and money trying to figure out where to put those 2067. And I think we've now um, done a really good job of figuring that out. We've approved probably a close 900, close to 1,000 new housing units in South Pasadena. So there's a lot happening. Also SB 79 was just signed by Governor
Yes.
Newsom. And that will impact South Pasadena. So, because we have a metro stop. So, I think you're going to see more density. I think you're going to see more development. We have some exciting commercial development happening, as I mentioned with Via Tacos. Our old school district building, which is on El Centro, right across from the library, that is being historically renovated and will be turned into a music venue called run by Sid the Cat, Via Tacos, Boy and the Bear Coffee, and a microbrewery.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
So there's exciting things happening. We're excited for the World Cup and for the Olympics to come to town, and we're hoping to plan some activities around that, especially since we have a metro stop on the way to the Rose Bowl and to Pomona and to
Yeah,
the racetrack.
yeah, that's the impressive thing that you guys have a metro. Not too many small cities have that. Because I remember when I moved back to California 15 years ago, because I was out of state because of college. I was without a car for about 3 years, and I remember when I took the metro. Before I came to Arcadia, I actually stopped in South Pasadena, and I was very impressed in how conveniently located the metro was, how it's near everything. And I think it's very important for those that don't have a car to have the convenience of having mass transit because especially with the high cost of gas, it's very important that there has to be mass transit station in every stop of the city.
Yeah, no, I actually often take the metro, mostly down to BMO Stadium for soccer games, but but it's downtown, it's very convenient.
Yes, yes, I definitely think that it was a very good idea for the city to establish a station there. So I have a question. The metro station, it's primarily the uh, the metro subway. It's not the Metro Link, right?
Not the Metrolink. It's Metro.
Okay,
Correct.
okay. Because I know that Metro Link goes for farther distances, while the Metro is, shorter distances.
Right. We're on the A line of the Metro. So, okay. Also, by the way, while we were talking, I looked it up. The 2020 census we have of South Pasadena is about 40% white, 35% Asian, and 21% Hispanic or Latino.
Oh, okay, okay. So your estimate was correct. That was in the.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I knew it was kind of that's how it stacked up.
Mhm. Perfect, perfect. So I also wanted to ask, I know that many cities have the sister city program. So does South Pasadena have a sister city program with other cities?
We do not. I know I just joined the Pasadena individually, the Pasadena Sister Cities, their organization. I'm, that's something that would be interesting to consider. I think right now we're trying to sort of tackle a lot of the bigger issues, aging infrastructure, some of our finance issues, and a lot of the housing issues that have come our way. But I think that's a great program. That's one I wouldn't mind looking into.
Yeah, because I know that with the sister city program, it could also promote tourism and cultural exchange. Because I know that when with the new mayor of San Gabriel was sworn in as mayor, I know that
Mhm.
one of the things that he mentioned is that he has the sister city program with San Gabriel
Interesting.
to promote cultural exchange, and that will be definitely a thing to promote tourism to the city, especially those that come from overseas.
Yeah. No, I think that's great.
And I know that the city has also been sites for for movies. So like how has the city like been able to use to film movies?
So we do have a employee who handles all of the film permitting. And a big film that's timely that was filmed in South Pasadena in I think the late 70s was the movie Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis. So that house is still the house in which that film was primarily made, is still here, still by the metro station. And there's a museum around the corner called Sugar Mint Gallery that has a lot of um, interesting artifacts and history about that filming. But yeah, I think the movie Beethoven, we've had some of the Jurassic Park movies have had some filming here. So, a lot of television shows. I think because we have so many trees and so many different kinds of houses, it can, places in South Pasadena can look like they're really anywhere. So
Right.
yeah, so we have an employee who works with the studios and residents because of course if there's filming in a residential area, you have to talk to all the residents because it does impact the neighborhood.
Of course. And I know the movie Teen Wolf was also filmed there as well.
Okay, oh, Teen Wolf. I think Pee-wee's Playhouse is in South Pasadena, the exterior. So yeah,
Oh,
so
really?
yes, yes. I've forgotten where exactly. Somewhere near Garfield Park.
Oh, wow. Did not know that.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, perfect. Another question we wanted to ask in terms of inclusion, like I mentioned, Spanish United, we also want to promote inclusion of Hispanics and also for Hispanics to get involved in government and in business. So in terms of exclusivity and equality, like how does South Pasadena see itself as a leader in being inclusive of all people, regardless of their background?
That's a good question. It's almost, I think, what do we proactively do is a good question. I mean, the senior center I know, for example, has a lot of I think I went to their Cinco de Mayo celebration. I think we have different celebrations for different ethnicities. We also have a very active Chinese American club, Vecinos, as I mentioned. Um, do we do anything proactively? Honestly, the most of the people and kind of I'd say the pulse of the city is a very inclusive city. People who live here, they like the diversity. And as I said, not just ethnicity and race, but socioeconomic. So people who live here are very open. Um, can we do more proactively? Probably. Um, but
Okay.
but I think you'd find it very welcoming. We also do have a farmers market every Thursday,
Oh,
right
impressive.
near the metro station. It's a very popular. And in fact, Metro has even told us that Metro ridership peaks in South Pasadena every Thursday from 4 to
Oh,
7.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow. That's impressive. That's impressive. Yeah, I think it's very important because again, especially with this climate, that it's very important that cities do their part to be inclusive of everyone, especially when Hispanics have a lot to offer. We always try to encourage Hispanics to get into business, to run for public office, because I feel the more visibility the Hispanic community has, I think it will be better in the long run, especially when it comes to public relations with the community at large. And it's also a good way to dialogue. So, because
right.
when I've had different exchanges with different mayors, politicians, I always mention that the more involved Hispanics are in city government and city council and with commerce, I think will be mutually beneficial for both the city and the Hispanic community.
Yeah, no, I agreed. I also think, and I was very involved in youth soccer and AYSO, and I saw this around the different cities. I also think there is something about first generations and second generation from no matter what your ethnicity, right? I would say my guess and observation is we probably don't have a lot of first generation, right?
Mhm.
I think that could be an interesting distinction. Maybe it's because, yeah, it's hard to afford any place when you come over.
That's true.
But
That's true.
second generation, I think, you're kind of, your parents were here and they've made it and they've provided resources and you have an education. It's a little different. I have grandparents who were immigrants, but anyway,
Immigrants from where, am I could ask?
Germany.
Oh,
Um,
okay, so you are of German background?
I am, but they came in after World War I. They came in the 20s.
Oh,
So
okay.
so it's been a long time, but it's kind of interesting for me to sort of watch the immigrant populations thinking about my own grandparents who were immigrants.
Because when I saw your name, I wasn't sure if it was Jewish or German, because they could be both.
German. Braun is German for Brown, Brown, Brown.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's the first time that I actually hear that actual last name. So it actually means brown, but in German.
Yes, correct.
Oh wow. Okay, something I learned today.
There you go.
It's always important to learn new things. Another question is, as far as the future, like where do you see South Pasadena, let's say in the next 10, 20 years from now?
Oh, that's a great question. I think South Pass has a great future. I think right now we are, working with how to accommodate more density, more housing, and at the same time looking commercially and sort of from an infrastructure standpoint about what do we need to sort of accommodate more people in the community. As I mentioned, that one commercial development that's coming online, there's about four housing developments that are about to get their permits. And that's going to be exciting. We're looking at sort of how to create this Mission Mile, which is Mission Street from down to the Arroyo to all the way maybe to Garfield Park. Sort of what do we want that to look like? We're looking at our streets, our traffic, how to make things more walkable, more bikeable, more community focused. Because I think the residents in South Pasadena really, we know each other and we walk places and we go to the parks and we go to the restaurants and we want to make it a more walkable, livable, bikeable city. I think that is going to be a plan. We have this idea of vision, South Pasadena 2050. What do we want that to look like? We're in the process of looking at partners to refurbish our little golf course. I don't know if you've ever played down there. But for example, the sprinkler system is 70 years old, so it's time to upgrade that course a little bit to sort of and make it a little bit more 21st century. Perhaps do the top tracer technology for the driving range, make it a family-friendly environment with a new restaurant and place that people can go and with community members. We're also looking at creating where our library is. We haven't really touched that library since
Mm,
1982. And so we're looking at making that a bigger community center library concept. So I think South Pass is going to grow. I think the commercial, we're looking to servicing a larger population, but in a very community friendly, walkable, bikeable way. And how do we attract the right commercial resources and upgrade our infrastructure that suits our families for the next generation?
mm. I definitely believe that with with right leadership and right investment, I definitely see South Pasadena having the potential in the next 20, 30 years being a modern city, but at the same time having the accessibility, to have bicycles, to have lanes, to be modern at the same time. To have the quiet small town feel. So I think, with the current leadership, from what I see, I feel that South Pasadena will definitely reach that goal soon.
Well, thank you for your vote of confidence. I'm very hopeful. I think it's going to be great.
It's my pleasure. Well, we come to the end of our time. I wanted to tell you, Janet, thank you so much for being a guest on the show. And for our listeners that are listening, Spanish United is on all social media platforms. We are on Spanish United Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I know that's X. We're also on YouTube. We are a nonprofit organization. Anyone that wants to donate, feel free to reach out to me through direct message. Anything you give will be used to help someone in the community, regardless if they're Hispanic or not. And again, Jen, I want to tell you thank you so much for being on the show. As soon as I'm finished, I will email you the link, and you could share with all of your with all of your city council members and your constituents.
Thank you so much, Enrique, for having me. It's been a
Have
pleasure.
yourself a It's a pleasure to have yourself a wonderful
Thank you.